The road ahead looks ordinary at first. A few cars, a few traffic lights, a few people rushing to work. Then suddenly, a sleek silhouette glides past, almost silently. No roaring engine, no dramatic exhaust note, just instant acceleration and a futuristic glow on the dashboard. That car is the Tesla Model 3, and whether you love it or hate it, there is no denying one thing. It changed the automotive world forever. But how did a relatively young company create a car capable of challenging century-old giants? And why has the Model 3 become one of the most important cars of the 21st century? The answer is more fascinating than most people imagine, because this story begins long before the first wheel ever turned. For decades, electric cars were considered a joke. They were slow, expensive, unattractive, and completely impractical. Major manufacturers experimented with them, but none truly believed electricity could replace gasoline. The world was addicted to engines, the sound, the smell, the vibration. Everything seemed impossible to replace. Then came a company bold enough to challenge the entire industry. Tesla was not the first to build electric cars, but it was the first to make people dream about them. And the Model 3 would become its most ambitious project yet, although getting there would be a nightmare unlike anything the company had ever faced. Before the Model 3, there was the Roadster, a small sports car proving electric cars could be exciting. Then came the Model S, a luxury sedan faster than supercars and filled with technology. The Model X followed with its dramatic Falcon wing doors. Each car pushed Tesla forward, but there was one problem. They were expensive, very expensive. Tesla needed a car for everyone, a car ordinary people could actually buy, a car that would take electric vehicles from niche products to mainstream machines. And that car would become the Model 3, though the road ahead was filled with danger. In March 2016, the world finally got its first glimpse of Tesla's secret weapon. Excitement exploded. Overnight, people lined up outside Tesla stores. Some camped for hours, others camped for days. They had not even seen the final car, yet they were willing to place deposits immediately. It was something unheard of in the automotive world. Within days, Tesla received hundreds of thousands of reservations. Billions of dollars in future sales appeared almost magically. It was a moment that shocked Wall Street, terrified competitors, and put unimaginable pressure on Tesla, because now the company had to deliver. At the center of this storm stood one man, Elon Musk. Brilliant, controversial, ambitious. He promised the Model 3 would be affordable, fast, safe, and revolutionary. The starting price would be $35,000, a figure almost impossible to achieve considering the expensive battery technology of the time. But Musk believed scale and innovation could solve everything. Investors believed him, customers believed him, employees worked day and night to make the dream a reality. Yet even the most optimistic insiders underestimated the chaos that was about to unfold. Producing a car is difficult. Building hundreds of thousands is something entirely different. Tesla was not just designing a new vehicle, it was reinventing manufacturing. Musk dreamed of highly automated factories filled with robots working in perfect harmony. Human workers would become less important. Machines would do the heavy lifting, faster, more precisely, more efficiently. At least that was the plan. Reality, however, had other ideas, and the consequences nearly destroyed the company. Production began in 2017, and almost immediately problems appeared. Robots malfunctioned, assembly lines stopped, components arrived late, software glitches caused delays. Engineers slept in the factory trying to fix issues before sunrise. Musk himself admitted Tesla suffered from excessive automation. The dream of a robot paradise had become a logistical nightmare. Cars were not being built fast enough. Costs kept rising. Critics predicted bankruptcy. Newspapers questioned whether Tesla would survive. Another failed quarter could end everything, and suddenly the future of the Model 3 hung by a thread. Inside the factory, chaos reigned. Workers rushed between stations. Musk held emergency meetings at strange hours, sometimes late at night, sometimes before dawn. He personally inspected production lines, searching for bottlenecks. At one point, Tesla even built an entirely new assembly line inside a giant tent outside the factory. It sounded absurd. Critics mocked the idea. Yet somehow the improvised line worked. Production increased. The impossible slowly became possible. But survival alone was not enough. The Model 3 had to prove it was actually a great car, and that challenge was only beginning. The design of the Model 3 immediately stood apart from traditional sedans. It looked clean, elegant, minimalistic. The front grille disappeared because electric cars did not need massive openings for cooling. Sharp lines flowed smoothly across the body, creating a modern shape unlike anything else on the road. Some people loved its simplicity, others found it strange, but everyone agreed it looked like a car from the future, and stepping inside only amplified that feeling. The cabin was almost shockingly empty. No complicated center console, no forest of buttons, no traditional gauge cluster. Instead, a massive horizontal touchscreen dominated the dashboard. Nearly every function lived inside it: speed, navigation, climate controls, music, cameras, everything. This radical design divided opinions. Some praised the futuristic approach, others complained about the learning curve. Yet nobody could deny Tesla dared to challenge conventions that had existed for generations, and that boldness became one of the Model 3's greatest strengths. Sit behind the wheel and the experience feels different immediately. Press the accelerator and there's no delay, no gears shifting, no engine climbing through revs, just instant torque. The car launches forward with astonishing force. Even the standard versions feel quick, while the performance model delivers acceleration that embarrasses sports cars costing twice as much. 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds from a practical family sedan. It sounds unbelievable until you experience it yourself, and suddenly gasoline performance begins to feel outdated. But speed alone doesn't explain the Model 3's popularity. Efficiency plays an equally important role. Tesla engineered the car to travel remarkable distances on a single charge. Constant improvements in battery technology pushed range higher year after year. Long-range versions easily crossed hundreds of miles, while energy consumption remained impressively low. For many drivers, range anxiety slowly faded. Charging networks expanded, software optimized battery usage, and owning an electric car became easier than ever before. Yet Tesla had another secret weapon hiding beneath the surface: software. Unlike traditional automakers, Tesla treated cars like smartphones on wheels. Over-the-air updates constantly improved the vehicle. Features appeared overnight, performance increased, new interfaces arrived, bugs disappeared. Owners woke up to cars that were better than the day before without visiting a dealership. It was revolutionary. Suddenly, buying a car no longer meant freezing technology and time. Instead, the Model 3 evolved continuously, changing and improving long after purchase. And this transformation was only getting started. Then there was autopilot, one of Tesla's most controversial and fascinating technologies. Cameras, sensors, artificial intelligence. Together, they allowed the Model 3 to steer, accelerate, and brake automatically in many situations. Watching the car navigate highways almost felt magical. Drivers imagined a future where vehicles drove themselves entirely. Musk promised that future was approaching quickly. Supporters praised the innovation. Critics warned about overconfidence. Regulators watched closely. Debates intensified. And the Model 3 found itself at the center of one of the most important technological discussions of modern times. Despite controversy, sales exploded. Around the world, customers embraced the Model 3. In the United States, Europe, China, and many other markets, it became one of the best-selling electric vehicles ever produced. More importantly, it forced competitors to react. Companies that once dismissed electric cars suddenly announced ambitious EV programs. Billions of dollars flowed into battery research. Entire factories transformed. Governments accelerated policies encouraging electrification. The automotive world was changing rapidly, and the Model 3 stood right at the heart of the revolution, though the battle for dominance was far from over. Legacy manufacturers fought back aggressively. Luxury brands launched electric sedans. Startups promised revolutionary designs. Chinese companies expanded rapidly. Competition intensified every year. Yet the Model 3 continued evolving. New battery chemistries appeared, manufacturing techniques improved, build quality increased, production costs dropped. Tesla refined the formula relentlessly, refusing to slow down, because in technology, standing still often means falling behind. And the next chapter of the Model 3 story would reveal just how fiercely Tesla intended to protect its throne.